Alright, so my plan here was to fly my general out of harm's way from the Coldwind Knights. So I declared a charge against the Spear Elf, I guess the warrior unit that had the sorceress on this side, because I was going to be able to hit her and he wouldn't be able to hide her. I'd be able to kill her really easily. So I declared the charge, rolled my dice, and rolled 3 ones, which not only did I fail the charge, I didn't move. And so I'm directly in front of all those Coldwind Knights with his Dreadlord. That was unfortunate. And just for the record, my trebuchet at the very bottom is actually where those two models are, not where the unit itself is. I had to move it to put the tape measure down, and it was just kind of weird. So, anyway, on the left, so I was going to fly my general into that sorceress and take my men-at-arms in the front of it, so that my general wouldn't lose combat by combat res. And with my general failing, things don't look too awful good for the men-at-arms. So here on the left, the Pegasus Knights that had taken out the bolt thrower now charging um, uh, his sorceress on the Dark Pegasus. Because the Altar Cain's right there, she's frenzied, as my guys are, so that means she could not flee, which I'm sure she would have had she could have. Yeah, that's unfortunate. At least I'll be able to issue a challenge, and I think he'll accept, and I have a decent chance of surviving. Alright, so the Knights Errant declare a charge into his crossbows, and he does a stand and shoot, and kills a couple of my Knights Errant. My Knights of the Realm declare a charge into the same unit, and he decides to flee. And so then I maintain the charge with my Knights Errant, hoping to chase him down and just get him killed and off the board, and I decide to redirect the charge of my Knights of the Realm into the Cauldron of Blood. So Knights Errant didn't roll very high, so they have a failed charge. Knights of the Realm go into the Cauldron of Blood, and that's why the board looks the way it does. The Questing Knights moved up because I do not want his Witch Elves to get a flank charge in my Knights of the Realm should the Altar of Blood, the Cauldron of Blood hold, which it's stubborn, so it has a good chance of holding. So I just move them up. Now, if the Witch Elves charge my Questing Knights, I'm okay with that, but I wasn't in a hurry to get in that combat. And one of the reasons was because I have a level 4 with the Lore of Life, so she casts Dwellers Below and takes them from, what I believe they were full strength at 20, down to 9. So now they're not nearly as scary in combat. I was 1 wound away from being steadfast, but because he still had 5 wide on that last rank, we both had the same number of ranks, and my guys broke. And I don't know why they're running at an angle there, but anyway, I mean, not the end of the world, whatever, still. Pegasus Knights kill his sorceress on a Royal Pegasus, so that's nice. That's a big chunk of his magic phase gone. And they end up here. So next turn they have quite a few choices. I could actually, if I want to, use them to hit the rear of his Coldwind Knights as well as these Witch Elves, and I wouldn't take him into the Cauldron. So on Dark Elf turn 3, he charges my men-at-arms. I run off the board. His charge takes him off the board, so they're safely off the board. We're still in combat down here. So the Witch Elves go ahead and charge my Questing Knights, which is totally fine. And over here he rallies his crossbows, and yeah, that means I've got to charge them all over again, which is just not pretty. The good news is, if you look on the upper right, I have those Pegasus Knights. Now, one thing I like to use Pegasus Knights for is, despite how it looks there, when it came time on my turn, my Pegasus Knights ended up being in their flank. And I don't know if that's because he moved his crossbows again after this picture was taken. I don't know, right? That angle here looks like I'd be in their front, but whatever. So what I like to use my Pegasus Knights for is to go ahead and charge them in the flank, do enough wounds that both of us hold, and on my next turn charge my Knights in the front. That way I don't have to withstand a stand and shoot. And that's what I'm going to do there. So after combat, he kills 4 of my guys, but I kill a bunch of them, and very happy with that result. Knights of the Realm end up killing the Cauldron of Blood, and so they just do a reform to face the crossbows. And again, in this round of combat, he doesn't do any wounds to my general, and I don't think I do any wounds back. But again, I've got Killing Blow on them. So my hope there is really just to get lucky on my roll to wound and get a 6 and be done with them. So we go to Brett turn 3. So I take the Pegasus Knights and go ahead and rear charge these guys. I really would rather not have my general killed, and I think with the +2 bonus for the being in the rear and +1 for the charge, if we can just do okay in the combat itself, we have a decent chance of breaking him. He doesn't have a battle standard bearer nearby, and I believe he's probably leadership 10, but you know, still that's something that's doable. So we're continuing this combat. Pretty confident how that's going to go. Here I decide to take the Knights Errant into the Bolt Thrower. My thought here was I can kill it pretty easily and then just reform and face his crossbows, which is I wasn't going to charge anyway because I didn't want to get the stand and shoot reaction. If you look at the very top, my Pegasus Knights are in their flank, and I did not charge the Knights of the Realm in because he just would have shot at me, and that's 60 shots, and I didn't want to face that. So again, I just want to hold everybody up with my Pegasus Knights and then charge in next time with both units of both of the bigger units of Knights. Now with this combat, my opponent has some abysmal rolling, but so in the challenge, he does 1 wound to my general, and I go back on him and I get the killing blow and kill him outright. The Pegasus Knights kill. I don't remember. It's been a week since the game, but they killed several, and with all the combat res, we destroy them and run them down. And I don't know why I'm facing this weird way. It looks like we're facing to the left. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, but destroy them. The Pegasus Knights held up the crossbows, but he did a combat reform. So on his turn, it was going to look pretty scary for the Pegasus Knights. But he's only strength 3. I'm toughness 4. I've got a 3-up armor save and a ward save. I'm pretty confident I could hold up there until I can slam him in the side with one of my other units of Knights. But it didn't matter. On a whim, I just kind of looked at the board and realized, hey, we're playing the Blood and Glory scenario. He's got his warriors on the far bottom left that killed my men-at-arms. They've got a banner. His crossbows have a banner, but his general's dead and all his other banners are gone. He's down to under 2, and game's over. So kind of a sudden, abrupt ending to the game. I think if it was a regular pitch game, I think I would have been just fine. He only had those 2 units left. His crossbowmen were not going to hang around long, and you know, I could concentrate both trebuchets on the spearmen until I got some knights over there. I'm pretty sure I would have, you know, it would have done well. Regardless, as it was, the Blood and Glory scenario played out right as that. So pretty happy with the game. A lot of things just went my way. 8th edition, I'm finding, it's a lot of fun, despite the fact that a lot of times it really does. Most games come down to just some effects of the dice, but it's a dice game, so what you going to do? Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.